We're going live right now. Hey everyone, welcome back to the Nintendo Prime Podcast, episode 120. This is a special episode because it's Switch's birthday this week. Pretty cool. We'll get into that a little later. To my left is Mr. Eric Moore.
Hello.
And also Fivejay.
Hey guys.
And I am your host, Nathaniel Rumpeljanz, or your moderator, or whatever they call these things. Let's just get right into it because I think we're going to have quite a bit to talk about today because, first off, I actually played some games this week. So what have we been playing lately? That's how we like to start the podcast off. I've been playing 3 different games this week, but I'm still going to go last. I'm excited. Eric, what have you been playing lately?
I finally collected all of the booze except for the last floor because I haven't unlocked that yet in Luigi's Mansion. And now
Sweet.
to start working on all the gems.
We just mentioned 3 to clarify.
Yes.
Yeah. Cool.
Yeah.
I have a Luigi's Mansion update as well.
Yeah, nice.
A lot farther behind than you.
I was going to say, he came from behind to beat me.
No, I didn't.
You got out of that one room, right?
Yes, but we'll get into that in a bit.
Nice.
5J, what have you been playing lately?
I've been playing Mega Man 0/ZX collection. Last time we talked about how it was out of stock at my GameStop, so I was like, I wonder if it's out of stock online. Sure enough, they had it and shipped it to my door. Amazing games as always. And shout out to the homebrew community because I'm also been playing this. This is a ColecoVision game, so a system from 1981.
Oh,
and they're still making new games for it.
Heck
This is like a
yes.
Metroidvania game, and it's a lot of fun. So, Ghost, ColecoVision, check it out.
Nice.
Heck yeah. So, I've been playing 3 different games. One, the crowd should know about. I streamed it earlier this week. I played a little bit of The Witcher 3 on Switch, aka The Switcher. Very, very pleasantly surprised. Now, granted, I didn't play it at launch. I played it post-update. I was able to mess with some settings and stuff. That game looks so incredible on Switch. I don't know how they did it. And I'm looking at it on a TV, where it's supposed to be, blurry and everything. Everyone says, "Oh, it looks great in handheld." I'm playing on TV. I haven't even touched handheld yet, and I think it looks stunning. And this is someone who owns it on PC, played it max settings with Hairworks on, 4K, 120 FPS. I played it the best way it's supposed to be, and I think it looks damn impressive on Switch. And the more and more I play of it, what can't run on Switch?
You're right. Yeah.
Besides, maybe 100-person, locally trying to run 100-person PvP thing on a Switch, I can see all right, probably not enough CPU for that, but I don't know.
Right.
It works for Fortnite, so
Yeah, if it's just a question of graphics, you can always scale them back far enough to make it fit.
The thing is,
Just
it still
enough.
looks good. That's the thing. I'm playing it, I'm like, this doesn't feel like I'm playing PC low settings. This feels good on Switch.
It's
I mean,
technical wizards at work there.
There's a little more pop in, but to be expected. You see how
Yeah.
good everything looks? Holy crap, you can forgive a little pop in when you don't expect to play that on Switch.
Yeah.
Oh, crazy. So game's just as good as it's always been. Been playing it with my Mario controller.
Nice.
But yeah, it's a lot of fun. Little update on Luigi's Mansion 3. I finally got out of the room.
Oh, man. Congratulations.
I know.
Well done.
I'm guessing it
The
was
room we're
something
talking about is
relatively
on
easy.
what? I think it's on floor 3. I can't remember. Maybe it's floor 5. Whatever floor it is where you're first trying to get the briefcase that I now found out has Gooigi in it.
Oh.
Oh, spoiler. No.
Oh.
It's the very beginning of the game. We knew about Gooigi before the game came out. Anyways. But fully confirmed it was a glitch. Fully confirmed. It only took me having to go back a save file 4 times and re-entering the room and redoing the scene before finally, after taking out the ghosts that are supposed to reopen the door, did it trigger a cutscene when I went to the door with EGAD that was not being triggered before.
Huh.
That actually let me leave the room.
Fun.
So, dang game, stop glitching on me. So finally did that. I beat the ghost, who was hilarious. So I was playing. I was actually upstairs laying in bed playing it, and my fiance was laying next to me, and she looked over. She's like, "That ghost is so cute." I'm like, "Sure." I'm about to suck her up though, so so don't get used to seeing her around for much longer. Did that, got Guiji, learned how Guiji works, although it works exactly like it worked before. I forgot about the not touching water thing, but whatever. They teach you that right away. So I don't know. That's pretty much where it's at. I went up to the next floor button that I found, and that's where I am right now. The only reason I haven't progressed further than that is because, like, literally the next day that's when I did the Witcher stream, so then I kind of set it aside. And then today, I've been playing some NBA 2K20 on Switch, just because the Lakers and the Bucks play tonight.
Yeah.
So I kind of was in that basketball mood. I got the game on the cheap. You guys know I like sports games. So didn't really check out any of the, normally I'll spin up like a My Player and I'll get going into single player stuff. Haven't done that yet. Focus more so on, hey, I just want to zoom in and see how good the Bucks actually are in this game. Turns out they're pretty damn good. Still completely underrated though, because if you take the same roster the Bucks have, fully updated, and you go to sim a season, the Bucks barely finish over 500. And yet they're the best team in the NBA. So something's not lining up with how they're rating the players. Basically, everyone on the Bucks is underrated, but Giannis. So that sounds like real life, to be honest.
Yeah.
Well, except Dante. Dante DiVincenzo's rated an 80. He's rated 7 points higher than Wesley Matthews.
What?
Yeah. So I don't.
Okay.
Sure. If I just like, okay.
Sure. I'll believe you.
Sports.
Yeah.
PA Sports Ball.
Yeah. Yep. I probably know more about the teams in your state than you do.
Guaranteed.
Guaranteed.
Is Tom Gugliotta still out there?
Oh, Lord.
Wow. Anyways, that's kind of what I've been playing this week. 3 different games. Be deep diving into Luigi's Mansion, I think, over the next week because I really want to. I'm not gonna 100% it, but I'm gonna at least beat the main story. Maybe play around with the multiplayer a little bit, especially since the DLC. I think the first part of the DLC came out. So I might check that out, but we'll see. Because I do want to kind of do like a better late than never review sort of thing. I might even call it that, better late than never.
Yeah.
Yeah, why not?
I don't know.
Why not?
But Eric, you write
Let's
that on
know
the
what it
board
is.
over there. I'm gonna forget that name.
Yes, you will.
Well, I forget my actual name half the day. So.
Oh, I know.
Anyways, yeah. Let's just get into this new kind of section of the podcast. So, what I have done is we were doing a Q&A before. Still not really ready to hop back into a standard Q&A with you guys because we do live stream the podcast. So what I did is I took how you could submit questions and stuff before, and I made it a Patreon thing because on Patreon you used to be able to get the podcast a day early, but now that it's live streamed, you don't really get it a day early because it's live. So instead, for like $5 and up a month on Patreon, you can submit topics and or questions related to topics that we're going to be talking about that week. And I basically put up a post on Patreon every Wednesday with what some of the topics are. I'm kind of leaning towards on what they're going to be, unless obviously if there's a direct coming up, then that's probably what the whole podcast will be about. But and then you're able to kind of ask questions related to it, or if you have something entirely different you want to bring up. You can, and then depending on how many submissions, I'll narrow it down to a few, and we'll go from there. And this week we got 2 submissions. The first one is from James Fazel. He wants to know what we think of the Doom and Animal Crossing fan art, the crossover fan art. He's like, do you like the fans cross-promoting games like this? And do you think other releases out in the same month should also be cross-advertised like this? Just an idea for the podcast, as both games are coming out really soon, and you both you forget Fivejay, could talk about your opinions on both games. So first off, what do we think about the idea that fans are doing like this crossover fan art? I mean, I've seen some of it.
Yeah.
I haven't seen a ton of it, but I guess I don't pay as much attention to fan art as I once did.
Not just like art, but there's like funny videos and stuff. Like Doom guy is like trying to show Isabel how to shoot a shotgun.
A lot of Isabel.
And she flies across the room, and he's like, "What? Where'd she go?"
Nice.
Yeah.
Well, I think he mentions do we want to see this with more games of the same month? I mean, the obvious answer is yes, but the reason this worked is because they come out the same day. It's not even just the same month. They literally launch the same day. And at the time when the release dates were originally talked about, there was some thought maybe the Switch version would also come out that same day, but it's not. It's coming out at a future day that we don't know yet. So it's kind of a unique situation where these are two games that are going to be on Switch that are technically releasing the same day. So I don't know that like this culmination like that's why if you want to know, that's why this fan art exists.
Well, that and because they're so just complete opposites.
Complete opposites.
Yeah.
What do you mean? I've seen some of this fan stuff. They look like they fit right in together. Isabel should be a guest in Doom.
Yeah, right.
Absolutely.
Easter egg.
Easter egg. Why isn't Doom Guy in? I mean, come on. You could terraform. Let me use Doom Guy to terraform.
Yeah. I wouldn't put it past id to like suddenly include like a nightmare version of Isabel as like a zombie. You know, it's like missing limbs and stuff. So like if you don't look at it real close, you might not notice. But then you're like, wait, that hairstyle, that torn up vest, it's Isabel. You know?
If you squint just right.
You gotta squint, tilt your head right about 45 degrees, and you got it.
Oh man,
wouldn't put it past them.
Yeah, knowing them that is a possibility. They wouldn't even need Nintendo's permission because it'd be a unique design.
Yeah. Right, absolutely.
Yeah, I don't know. I think I love fan art in general. I like when they do crossovers. I mean, crossovers exist regardless of games coming out. This was just a very unique situation that caused the fan art to kind of explode for it. So yeah, I think I'd like to see it happen more often. I don't think it's naturally that realistic.
Right.
Because
unless it's Smash.
Well, think about it. Like, it's such a unique situation where you have these two polar opposite games releasing the same day, but they're also both going to be on the same platform.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like, you know, that doesn't happen very often. But you get same day releases, like especially in the fall, you'll get 5 major games released in the same day, but like they're not really polar opposites usually either.
Right.
And they're on so many different platforms that nobody's really paying attention or caring. So I think this is just a unique situation. I don't think it's going to happen too often moving forward. Besides your typical fans wanting to crossover.
I was going to say, you never know with fan arts what's going to happen, what's not going to happen. And, I mean, could be a trend. Might not be.
Well, I liked it because they're opposite not only in gameplay style, but in like the gamers that play them. Yeah, there's plenty of folks that will play both Animal Crossing and Doom, like probably everyone here. But that's not always the case. I mean, there's probably plenty of people who are going to play Doom that are like, this Animal Crossing crap, why do they keep trying to fuse these together? But the fact that it's surfacing the positives of the gaming community, these different aspects of gaming, the relaxed and the hyper-violent, supporting each other, it's nice instead of just hearing all the hate all the time. So I really like it.
You're just going to be running around your island, and all of a sudden Isabel's going to whip out a shotgun at you, and you're like, wait, what?
Yeah.
What's happening?
The ground is going to open up, and demons are going to start crawling out.
Right, yeah.
So I guess the long or the short of it is we'd like to see it happen more often.
Yeah. It's cool. I think it's
I don't think it's going to happen more often, but just because, like, I don't know. There's been all these years where this could have been happening, and it took this event.
Hey,
like, I don't know.
It needs one thing to start a trend. I mean,
well, the trend has to be releasing the same day, polar opposites.
Yeah, but
I feel like we've been seeing more and more of it, though. Like, and it's not necessarily crossover, a little bit, but like when Untitled Goose Game came out, and there was so much of that fan art out there, they started crossing over that sort of thing a little bit.
That was just a phenomenon of that single game and how crazy that game is. It's not.
God, that damn goose.
Like I finally played Untitled Goose Game. It's a decent game. I don't get the hoopla. It's just like all the other things when you're like, well, it's just like when you're playing a walking simulator or you're playing a wolf simulator or a goat simulator. Like it's just a goose simulator.
Well, and there are people out there that don't like Breath of the Wild, so I mean, different tastes.
Those people,
they're wrong.
They're not gamers, in my opinion. If you hate them.
Uh-oh. There's a little hatred coming through.
There goes. Wait, I was gonna say there goes half the YouTube audience, but wait, no,
no, not on this channel.
Not on this channel. Nope.
No, this channel, they're all about that Breath of the Wild life. All right. The next topic we had come up was from our own Corey Bohm. He's also a moderator on the live chat, and he said, "What if E3 2020? What if about nice English? He is Canadian.
I was gonna say you gotta give him a little bit of a slack. He is Canadian.
Yeah, and he's always making fun of us on our
right.
sports team. So
Oh wait.
oh geez,
Champions.
champions. Oh, man. You know he can say that too because the Raptors.
Yeah, there's that.
So I mean, anyways,
Or any hockey team,
Ugh.
really.
Yeah.
What if about E3 2020 really could use some chat time? Example. What if more companies did deeper treehouse style dives? He means at E3. Or where might E3 move to if it moved out of the LA Convention Center? What if the demos just went to the online stores and anyone could play? Would E3 ever happen again? So much to talk about. So basically, E3.
Yeah, I said last time that there was a real danger it was going to be canceled, and you seemed very sure that it was going to be fine. And now here we are. There's these stories, and it's not sure anymore.
Well, I think E3 on the whole will be fine, but I think E3 this year could get canceled.
But you were also talking about how E3 as a whole was sort of in danger in that, so
called contradicting myself. I did a lot.
Exactly.
Well, here's the thing.
You just pulled a Colin Coward.
No, because here's the thing. E3 is less relevant than it's ever been. If there isn't one this year, it's going to put them in more danger, but there's still going to be one the next year, and it's still going to, E3 as a thing is still going to exist. That I'm confident.
I hope so.
Whether it exists
whether or
as
not
the state it is, E3 might morph into something else.
They need to look at what Gamescom does and basically just make that, but in the U.S. Gamescom has it all figured out how to mix fans and developers and everything together. They even have press conferences. They figured it out. Just do that. The problem is the ESA is just so damn greedy. Look at what they charge for fans to get in. Gamescom ain't charging that. It's way cheaper to get into Gamescom if you happen to live over there. So it's, I think what happened is greed got in the way because the moment it became about, that they need to open up because Gamescom when it started, was already open to fans and everything. Whereas E3 had a morph to do that, but the way that E3 did it is they said, well, hey, look, we're still gonna make this you need to have a lot of money gamers club thing. We're still gonna aim this as it's a for-profit venture instead of it being you're actually supposed to be representing all these game companies bringing this stuff to the fans. The idea is not to be for-profit because the companies will make the money when they buy the games.
Yeah,
and the Gamescom kind of has that right. And ESA is like, nah, we want all the money. And the thing is, the ESA doesn't do, when we think about it as consumers, the ESA themselves don't really do much for us as consumers. They represent they basically represent the gaming companies in, legal stuff. And then they also do the ESRB, which, sure, the ESRB matters because we don't want the government to get into rating games. We'd rather the ESA rate the games, but
right.
It's still, as consumers, the ESA means nothing to us. It's just a conglomerate. Right. We don't really care how they do. So, and the problem ESA has is E3 is our number one moneymaker of the year. Literally all the money the fund comes from this. So, besides there's little fees they get from getting the little rating on there, but that's not.
Could be part of the problem. Putting all their eggs in one basket. Maybe they need to figure out a new model for a new day.
And I don't know what that model can be because, Corey mentions, well, what if everyone did Treehouse Live stuff? They've been trying that. Sony was trying to do that before they dipped out. Microsoft's doing that. Almost everyone, if you watch, if you're at home watching coverage of E3, pretty much every company has their own live show going on. Throughout the entire event, showing off their games and other people's games. And IGN has their own shows and games. Everyone's got shows going on to show off all this stuff. So most of it's live anyways. You're never going to see, Corey mentioned the dream of just release all the demos for people to play at home. That doesn't happen. That's not going to happen. That's always been a dream of gamers for them to do that.
Well, I mean, they've done some things, like, I guess, yeah, there were some demos released digitally, but another way that they've done it in the past that I've taken advantage of a few times, Nintendo has brought some demos that otherwise were exclusive to E3 to Best Buy stores,
Yep, yep.
at least in the US, and I would go
Yes.
there and try them out, and it was awesome. I
Yep.
felt like I was part of it, you know?
Oh yeah, and that I think companies will do that more, but in terms of playing the demo in your own house,
Right.
that's probably not going to
Rare.
happen. What people need to understand about demos, especially at E3, is they're unfinished and broken,
Yeah.
and they don't want people doing that at home.
Mm-hmm.
Because you like
Right.
there's some cases where like the Breath of the Wild demo back in 2016
Mm-hmm.
found out it was actually the whole game, and you were just cut off by the timer. So all it takes is someone breaking the timer, and suddenly you have access to the whole game for free. You can
Yep.
leak that online. So like
Right.
these demos aren't set up in a way where like they want people to actually get their hands on them. So and the funny thing about that is someone was trying to steal the demo. So that was
Yeah. Yeah.
that was the whole thing.
Actually,
back-
didn't somebody actually get it? And...
Well, they didn't get out of the booth. with it,
right.
so.
Right.
But yeah, it's, so that the demo part of it, I don't think can really be replaced. Like that's kind of E3's basically got two main reasons to be relevant at all: press conferences and or digital store. Basically all companies agreeing we're gonna release news at the same time. So like that's kind of a thing that still revolves around E3. And then obviously the actual E3 event itself is demos. And the thing is that's the thing that is the worst part of E3 when you go, is unless you just want to play a bunch of indie games, you're not going to get a chance to play a lot of the games you want to play. So the event is set up very poor to get, media are all upset because they don't get time because they're fighting with gamers, and they're fixing that this year by giving media their own day. But then gamers are now like, now we have one less day to try to hit things up. The lines are still going to be 6-7 hours.
Right,
to
exactly.
Get in, we want to play that one Nintendo game that's going to be 4 or 5 hours. So there's just, and it's weird because it's not like this. Well, I shouldn't say it's not like this at other events. Like PAX just happened, and like the Animal Crossing line was like 2-3 hours. But I don't know, like all these other events just seem to have it set up better than the ESA does. And the funny thing is, one of the companies that's running the floor stuff, the floor experience for them, just bailed on them. And I Am 8-Bit, they just said, hey, look, it's been a dream for us to work with E3, but now like we're out. See ya.
Yeah.
And the ESA is like, oh, we have all these other companies. Like, one for starters, why do you have like 7 different companies working on your floor stuff?
Yeah.
Like it just made like you realize, ESA, when you came out and you said, oh, it's okay that we lost them because we have all these other companies that are helping us with our floor stuff. You're just making it sound like you have no idea what you're doing, so you're just bringing everyone in to hodgepodge it and hope it works out.
Well,
No wonder they bailed on you.
throw a bunch of crap at the wall and see what sticks.
Yeah, like they need better focus. E3, I think, even if it gets canceled this year because of worries about the coronavirus or whatever, they just need to get people to run the event that actually understand these kind of events. I mentioned before, Jeff Keighley figured it out with the Game Awards. Let him figure out this. He knows what makes E3 work. He's been there for 25 years.
I was going to bring that up. I mean, they have one of the things that's popular is bringing in musical acts as they relate to video games in the Game Awards. Adding some entertainment into it instead of just presentations. Not a bad idea.
No, not bad at all.
Yeah.
What about having it be a week-long event and there's a spot for vendors like to sell you stuff and not just demo booths.
Well, they do have vendors in
they
there.
have plenty of vendors.
But it'd be nice if they would separate the vendors from the booths more.
The demos.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
charge less money to the people who want to set up demos so they could set up more demos, and then have the vendors be like, why can't the vendors be out in the hall, or like lined in the lobby area or something?
In between the two halls.
Yeah, there's plenty of room.
There's the whole
Are
walkway.
they selling games there at all, or is it just like merchandise?
A lot of it's merch.
A lot of it's like
I don't know if there's too many actual games you
I
can
don't think
buy.
there's really any games
Yeah,
selling there.
because when I
there
go
are
to
some retro. There were some retro stuff.
But
you
I
could
think
buy.
that was more. That was the Hall of. Was that the Hall of Fame or was it
The
just
Hall
the,
of Fame
like,
was there, yeah.
an-
The Video Game
antique
Hall of Fame
stuff?
was there. Which is really cool, by the way.
Yeah. But no, I lost my train of thought. Damn it.
There's a lot of stuff, a lot of junk there.
Yeah.
When I would go to a convention, I expect to be able to like have booths. Like I went to Midwest Gaming Classic, and there were so many booths of like unusual games and systems and stuff that gamers might actually appreciate, but the general public doesn't care about.
Yeah, they had the Video Game Hall of Fame there, which was really cool.
Right, but could you buy anything you see in the Hall of Fame?
No, you
Not
couldn't. It was
that I-
just showing off all the stuff.
Wouldn't it cool to be like, oh man, look at this Famicom Twin?
Yeah.
You know, oh, and here's a guy over here who's selling a bunch.
Yeah.
Right.
You know,
No, it's a lot of like accessories for like the Switch, the PlayStation.
Even some of the
stuff like
accessories
that.
you can't buy there. They just
Right,
show
they
them
just
off
show
to
'em
you
off.
and then say, "Here's our card. Buy them online."
Right.
yeah, there you go. See,
and
that's
then-
a missed
And
opportunity.
they got those like
Yeah, I think Satisfy was the one company that really hit it. They had it right there. You could buy the Satisfy grip for Switch and
Right.
everything right there. That was nice.
and then there's a bunch of the like stuffed animals. There's a bunch
Oh,
of
yeah.
the rando boxes.
oh yeah, rando boxes. Spend
Rando
80
boxes.
bucks get random crap that they can't sell online.
that are supposed to be like you pay $80 for them and they're like $100 and some dollars worth of value and it's like
that they tell you.
I highly doubt that.
Well, no, the value is based on MSRP of items they can't sell.
Right.
That's why they're in
That's
the
why I
grab big
said-
boxes.
Quotes.
That
But
doesn't
if
mean
they
there's not-
can't sell
it
them, do
doesn't
they
mean there's
have
not-
MSRP?
Yeah, it doesn't mean they're not cool stuff. I saw some of the stuff. Like, there's some cool things in them, but
Yeah.
I mean,
But I mean when
won't
you,
buy them for yourself. That's the point.
when you decorate the box like an NES controller and then you get like nothing Nintendo related in it, it's what's the point?
It is what it is.
But yeah, I mean there's plenty of people trying to sell you stuff there.
Yes, you could easily spend your $160 to go in, waste a whole day waiting in lines, and then spend $1,000 the next day just buying junk.
Oh yeah.
And like, and none of it's like you can't buy classic systems. They have like like the guy showing off mini arcades there, but you can't actually buy them there. You have to buy them online. It's like, why?
That's
show them
ridiculous.
on, like
I think
some things
A
I
lot of the
understand
part-
going online if you run out.
a lot of part
But-
of it is I think with like the accessories and stuff like that, just trying to keep the sheer stock, I think is a big issue.
Well, and also people
Sure.
with swag.
Yeah,
People just want swag. They
Yeah,
just want
there
free
is that.
Stuff. They're like literally people that run through the halls and just get all
Hey.
the free stuff.
We got a free full box of drink powder
Oh, you mean
mix.
right there.
Yeah.
Respawn.
Yeah, respawn.
Respawn. This stream is brought to you by Respawn.
Dude, that stuff is so
Actually,
good.
the stuff is really good, but still.
But does Respawn make Respawn?
No, it's made by
It's Razer, isn't it?
What?
It's Razer, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it was Razer.
Razer had one
It
of
was a
them
joke. They did it as an April Fool's joke, and then they made it a real product.
there. Razer.
They don't actually sell it though. I
There
don't
was
think.
there was
Right.
two. No, you could buy it online.
No, you could, but after it was an E3 only thing.
No, I'm pretty sure you could still buy it online.
Yeah, maybe, but I'm saying that it was set up for an E3
gotcha.
only thing. Like you
Yeah.
could go online and buy it. But
Gotcha.
It was an E3 joke. Whether or not they're still selling it.
Okay, I want to look at this here quick.
I have
What
so much of it
about-
for free that it doesn't matter.
What about doing more competitions at E3? Like we had sort of the return of the Nintendo World Championships.
Sure.
But what if they play up, like if it's the ultimate gaming event of the year, it doesn't necessarily have to be one thing. You know, if the presentations and all the reveals happen on Friday, Saturday, Sunday, then have things like those big gaming events through the rest of the week and the big halls for you to buy stuff and check out the exhibits of like the gaming museum and stuff. You know, like they could make it bigger, and then it's less crowded for each type of event. I don't know. My
Eh,
thought.
Like I'm thinking back on the 3 years we've gone. The first year was awesome. I mean, we spent a lot of time in the Nintendo booth, but when you even when you walked around, Sony and Microsoft were there. Microsoft's booth was inside the convention center, so it wasn't off in a different theater like it is now, and it really felt like okay, this is traditional E3. This is it was the first year they were letting gamers in, but we had a media pass, and it still felt like, okay, cool. This is the E3 that I thought I was gonna get. It's all about the games, games, demos everywhere, game demos everywhere. All these major companies, demos everywhere, demos everywhere, demos everywhere. Now, last year when we went, there's game demos, and there's quite a few of them. Not nearly as many as there used to be. I'd say maybe 70% of the floor is now filled up with just junk or irrelevant things that nobody cares about. Like 3 energy drink things, chains right next to each other, which is cool and everything to have those. But, like, that's what filled up the Sony booth. That and a virtual reality thing that everyone said sucked when they actually experienced it.
Yeah, the booth itself was kind of cool.
Yeah, it looked cool, but, like, apparently the experience... And it's like... But, like, nobody's going to E3 for that experience. So why? Who cares? We want more games. Like, if you... Here's the thing. Like, if you want to get... If you're trying to replace the fact these companies keep dropping out, lower the price that you're charging for the space, and indie studios will come in and fill it out.
Yes.
Easily, indie studios will come in and fill it out because there's thousands of people there to sell games to.
They'd love it, yeah.
But, like, because you make the booth so damn expensive, you don't get them there. You mean you'll get some indie games, but that's because it's being published by a bigger publisher. It's like...
Right.
Yeah,
they could cut the booths down, too, while they lower their price.
I mean,
fit more of them in there.
Multiple millions of dollars to have a booth there. Why?
Yeah, that's ridiculous.
You said yourself, that's their only moneymaker.
It's just dumb. What they've done is just dumb.
Maybe they need to charge more for the more premier areas of the convention center and charge less for the less traveled parts. And that's where all the indie people can afford to actually go.
Oh, yeah, the West Hall versus South Hall. Yeah.
Or even out in the walkway.
Well, see, what'll end up happening then is then all the major guys will just go to the cheap one and be like, you're charging cheaper over there?
Yeah.
We want our booth over there.
For small booths.
So they'll be like, then we're just going to bring small demos for over there.
Yeah.
And not give you the big booth anymore.
Yeah. Well, I mean,
you know they're going to find a way to cheap out if they can.
Just make it really tall.
Nintendo will probably be the only one to be like, we just don't care.
That's why
we're sitting on our fat stacks. You just come to our booth.
That's why you have your AAA hall and your indie hall. I mean,
you ought to be careful bringing up that though now.
Yeah.
Because then you start a whole debate at E3 about what's a AAA, what's an indie.
Yeah.
Because then like, Hellblade was a AAA game made by an indie studio.
Yeah.
So,
yeah, you know what I mean.
Does the Outer Worlds count as a AAA game?
Nice.
Or is it not a AAA game? Do we really even want to have that debate? Games are games. Games are games.
Yes. You know what I mean. Your major publishers versus your kind of smaller publishers.
So I don't know what they could do to save E3. I think they just need to look at what Gamescom is doing and basically make that.
So what do you like better about Gamescom? What is it they're doing that you're saying is so much better?
It's just I've never gone. So I've only ever seen it from the streams online and then heard from people who have gone. It's basically like a PAX, but 4 times as big. Like the venue is just massive. So one issue, and this is something that they've had. Well, it used to be a bigger problem. I guess it's probably less of a problem now that all these companies backed out. The convention center is small for the amount of companies. Like back in 2016, there was pretty well full. When they had all of the game companies there, it was like there was no room to move. It was just it needed a bigger space than the convention center could provide. And I always thought, I don't know why they don't get the convention center and the Staples Center, which is right across the street, and just have them both and block off the street. But
we're talking about Gamescom right now.
No, that's E3 is that they have an issue with space. Gamescom doesn't have an issue with space. So the biggest thing is Gamescom is just really huge in comparison, allowing more space for everyone. It's easier to move around in. People can get to things faster. If the line's really long here, there's so much other stuff to play there that you could just go play something else if you don't want to wait in lines. And they're just better set up.
So the larger event has a smaller venue?
They have what? Well, here's the thing. E3 being considered the gaming Christmas, it's more of a reputation thing than an actuality thing. Gamescom has been a better convention forever. but E3 is where everyone does the press conference game announcements. So it's been kind of
Sure.
like
Nostalgia
everyone looks forward to
factor?
E3 for the game announcements, but the actual convention, people want to go to Gamescom. And even now, Gamescom is starting to have, press events as well. So I think Sony did one there last year, the year before. Microsoft did one last year, I know. So
Maybe they'll just absorb all the announcements.
and they're
E3 goes-
smaller. They're smaller press conferences, but they're still press conferences, and they're live streamed online, and there's news. So, so I guess
Well, one day, if Sony decides, or if Sony and Microsoft and Nintendo all say, we'll make all of our big announcements at a different place. I mean, that would be the end of E3,
pretty much.
right?
Mhm.
As
I
at
mean,
least as a
I think
large
I think what
event.
happens is what's going to scare the ESA is if they cancel E3 this year, but then Microsoft, because hey, they host it in their own building,
Yeah.
so they don't need ESA's help for really anything, to be completely honest. But if they all decide, hey, look, we don't even have to do this thing in person, we're just going to do Nintendo. Everyone digital events it. They just release all the crap at the same time, anyways, without the ESA and E3 and without the convention, and people still get all the crazy game announcements. Yeah, oh no, they can still do Nintendo Treehouse streams. They could do much more controlled in studio streams to show off their games. Next
Better
thing you
audio,
know,
yeah.
why are we going to E3 again? Oh, right. So you could play the games.
Yes.
You can't
Yeah.
replace playing the games. That is true.
Right.
But
But how many people are playing the games? Like, it's a small number. Nintendo could easily invite people from different press areas to come play games. They reported
I
out
hate that.
influencers.
Even when I was a first,
I mean,
I know I hate it. I know they.
I
do
get it.
They do it.
I get it.
And they
but
do it. They do it. They invite people out to Nintendo New York and other places that are media and certain YouTubers to come play games early. I know.
But this is why it's very possible that E3 really is in deep trouble, because they do have options. They just have to decide to use them.
Yeah, and E3 wants to keep the aura. And I have a feeling even if the convention is canceled, because that's really what's in jeopardy here is
The
bringing up.
in-person convention.
I wonder if the ESA is going to be like, hey, look, it's fine, it's canceled, but we still want to call it E3 and bring all this stuff together to keep the aura of E3 around all these game announcements. And I wonder if they're going to be like, hey, look, like all you like Nintendo, you a person on our board, like you want us to still matter, right? So like, make us matter, please. But if they're going to basically start begging all these companies,
Yeah.
like, still call it an E3 press conference.
Yeah, right.
Put our logo on everything. It's okay.
Yeah, right.
Right.
Like,
Move away from that format.
We'll charge you half.
even though we're not hold on, half of what?
I don't.
Half of what? I don't think Nintendo pays them to put out the digital event video.
Well, it's like when
It's on their own
GameStop
YouTube
is selling.
channel.
It's like GameStop selling the code cards for you to get a digital game that you could just buy at your console without leaving your house. It's like they need to get in on that racket for conferences.
And like Nintendo's not gonna have theme parks. They can just
Yeah.
literally advertise their stuff at their own theme parks.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah,
It's
I don't
coming
know.
to Florida, so it's going to be here in the States.
2023 needs to be here now. Needs to be here
Mhm.
now. All right, let's get into this next topic. At least this next topic, because the Switch turned 3 this week.
Yes.
Not the only thing that turned 3 this week, of course. That also means 1-2 Switch turned 3 this week. Everyone's favorite
Yes.
Switch game.
Yes.
Everyone's favorite Switch game. The whole reason any of us bought
Yeah,
Nintendo
absolutely.
Switch. We bought this bad boy so we could play 1-2 Switch. Right?
Absolutely.
That was absolutely it. Although, actually, it was pretty fun, to be honest.
Well, but question about that. I imagine all of us played 1-2 Switch for the last time in 2017.
This
correct?
would be correct for me.
Mhm. Yeah, me too.
Wait, no, 2018, I played it once at my old job because I used to after-school care, so I was trying to think of a way to entertain everyone. I'm like, what's a good party? 1-2 Switch.
1-2 Switch.
Finally
Because
found a
Super
use
Mario
for that
Party
game.
wasn't out yet.
Says it's 8 players, but only one person plays at a time, so you know how well that works.
Yeah.
Especially with little kids.
Anyways, it actually worked out pretty well once we got down to like the last 4 kids.
Yeah.
Breath of the Wild, obviously, 3-year anniversary this week.
Oh yeah.
Sweet.
My favorite game of all time, so that's lots and lots and lots of fond memories there. So I guess thinking back, it's been 3 years, slightly over 3 years now with Switch. What are some of your guys' like fondest memories or favorite games or moments? Like, was there a moment like when you picked up the Switch, like the first time it just like clicked, or was it awe with you, or was it when you put it on your TV, or you took a Joy-Con off for the first time and you're like, okay,
Wait,
I
I
want to
can
put that
do this?
back on.
Yeah. Hold on. This doesn't feel right.
Like, what are some of your favorite memories? We got 3 years of Switch here. Like, this is a big deal. Nintendo's most successful platform since Wii.
Yeah.
So for me, the announcement and the reveal of it was one of my favorite parts because I was going somewhere. We were driving somewhere, but we knew that they were doing some sort of announcement. So when it was about time, I remember Lauren was with me. We pulled over somewhere and was like watching it on my phone, or in the middle of a road trip. And it was literally everything I ever wanted because I was primarily a portable Nintendo gamer. Game Boy Advance, my jam, DS, all that stuff. So dream come true. And then the night we actually get it, and it was as awesome as all the press made it actually look, that it felt. And it was small and portable when you got the Joy-Cons off, and it felt solid, and the controls actually worked on those little tiny Joy-Cons, and all the tech packed in there when you felt the HD rumble, and then of course actually playing Breath of the Wild after midnight. You finally got your Switch. You're tired, but you're in awe at all the things that you're seeing. You're like, this is like no Zelda game ever, and I'm just loving it. It was ethereal.
Super surreal.
Yeah.
What was for you, Eric?
Oh gosh, honestly, Breath of the Wild memory for sure. E3. I mean, granted,
Well,
it
that was
wasn't on the
Wii U.
Switch.
That was the
I
Wii
know,
U.
but
So,
still,
don't confuse your Wii U memories. Now. It's like you're only one.
I know,
You're only
I know,
one.
but that was Breath of the Wild. That was
Yeah.
I said
Yeah.
I did
Okay.
caveat.
I had to find a way to give you crap
I
one
know.
time during this podcast.
Yeah, there's that. So I did caveat it. Breath of the Wild, obviously, playing at E3 was like one of the greatest experiences of my life. That booth was fantastic. The game played amazing. It was one of those things that that's what made me want to get everything right then and there. So, yeah, it does wrap back into Switch. Birch. So yeah, I mean and then going from day one, it's a fantastic system. I've few complaints here and there, mainly Joy-Con drift. I haven't really got there yet, but I think mine are just starting to. Granted, original.
Yeah.
So
I can temporarily fix those for you.
yeah, right.
Or I'm just
Right. No, I know. I was thinking about purchasing new ones, anyways, but that's
Sweet.
neither here nor there.
Finally onto your second set.
Yeah, right.
This is set number 3 for me.
Nice.
Wow.
But honestly, just opening up Breath of the Wild, playing it again for the first time, actually on the Switch, it felt so amazing, and just running around, and then the rain simulator when it knows that you're climbing a damn cliff. Look, it's completely sunny out. Completely sunny. Oh no, we're just gonna rain now. You're climbing a cliff. Seriously.
I don't know about you guys, but I got really good at climbing cliffs in the rain.
Yeah, well, you almost have to. I mean, it happens
Yeah.
almost like every time you have climb a cliff. It's
The worst part was you started slipping before you ever saw rain. So you're like,
Yeah,
why did I slip? Oh,
there
okay.
it is. There it is. Yeah. So, it's the small memories like that. That's the how many times can we kill Link? How many different ways? That one was fun. Although that was again at
That
E3.
was unintentional. Then I'm like, yep, can't get to where I want to go in the timer.
Yep.
Let's kill Link.
Let's
over
kill Link.
and over and over again.
Yes. That was fantastic. And then the shield surfing and the oh god, yeah.
Man.
Yeah, so I freaking love this system. Yeah, that's about what I have to say there for that.
So Switch,
Man.
it kind of just keeps impressing me over and over again. When I first, got it out and popped Breath of the Wild, and obviously playing it in handheld, watching how it works, going from dock to handheld, just exactly like they advertised it. You kind of in this disbelief that it's just marketing, and then you do it and it works just like that, and you're like, that is really cool. I've never had anything that is that smooth at, I could be able to dock devices before, but nothing that's that smooth at it.
There it is.
And like you take this out, you're holding it in your hand and you're playing Breath of the Wild, and the last time I played it was at E3 on a Wii U gamepad, and you're like, this is not a gamepad, this is the system.
Yeah.
Right.
I'm playing full-fledged AAA open world Zelda on something I hold in my hand. What is happening right now? And it just blew my mind. And it just kind of kept going from there, because even like the first time I experienced HD Rumble was 1-2 Switch. I think that was, many people, if you got 1-2 Switch at launch, that was your first time. Like,
was it like counting the ice cubes and you could feel it? Like
HD Rumble's legit. They have legit done nothing with it.
Right.
But it is a legit feature. It's there. Just no one's done anything too clever with it. There was like one indie game towards launch that did something really cool with it that helped with immersion. But because I remember having all these fancy dreams of like, since you could feel ice cubes, like, wouldn't it be cool if you're like climbing up a cliff in Breath of the Wild and there's like a avalanche or something, and you could like feel the rocks and the snow like going through your fingers. Like, I can feel ice cubes. Why can't I feel that? Like, that would be so cool. But like, actually, it never happened.
There was another cool implementation somewhat recently with Lumines, the music puzzle game. Apparently, you can connect up to 8 Joy-Con, and they will pulse with the rhythm. So you can just like stick them in your socks and stuff. So you can just like with your whole body feel it pulsing.
Nice.
And that's how it solves the puzzle too, is with the beat.
Nice.
So it's
I like it.
Oh yeah,
I like it. I like it.
And with all the drifting Joy-Cons out there, there's plenty of them to attach to.
Yeah, right. Trash heap.
Hey, no one had a problem with the HD Rumble. That's not the drift,
right?
Anyway, but just like that. That's just about the system itself and the cool tech specs and like just the really cool idea behind the system that is a hybrid, but. You get into the games, and over the last 3 years, like, I gotta be honest, this has been my favorite time to be a Nintendo gamer since I was playing on SNES back in the day. And even then, there's a potential this might top SNES for me, just like, because you got Splatoon 2, just amazing. ARMS, I'm sorry, I actually like a fighting game. I didn't know I could like a fighting game, because I don't like fighting games. But I like ARMS.
Smash.
Even Smash, I'm just casual. I play it here and there. ARMS, I put more hours into ARMS than I did Smash. So
it's great.
Like, ARMS is great.
What a great party game too.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, Fire Emblem 3 Houses.
Well, that first year we got Doom ported to Switch, and that was the first like mind blow moment. Like, how is this running on here? How does it look this good?
It just kept going. Like, we just got The Witcher 3. We're getting The Outer Worlds and Mortal Kombat 11 last year. NBA 2K, and it's like a full-fledged NBA 2K. It's not cut back like Madden was doing on Wii U and Wii. Like, it's the real deal with the real physics and everything. Like, what is happening? And this is all in my hand. Okay, it's 30 F. Who cares? I can't take the PlayStation 4 in my hands and hold it like this and play it like anywhere. Oh,
right.
And like,
I sent a bad Photoshop to my friend to express how I feel when I play a Switch, and it was like Resident Evil, but like superimposed onto a Game Boy. It's like, I cannot believe that I'm playing on my portable Nintendo these ridiculous console games.
Right.
And even then, like, it's not just all the new games or like the old games ported from AAA companies or even new ones. There's also like, there's actually slowly a really nice library of the old content as well. We have a lot of the Wii U games ported over. Obviously, I'm not necessarily the biggest fan of how they're handling the NES and SNES stuff, but it's still there. So it's cool that you can play all those games. There's a lot of collecting packs, just, a lot of collector's packs out there for some of the classic stuff. And yeah, it's overpriced and stuff compared to other systems, but at the end of the day, it's there.
Yeah. Like, personally, as a Mega Man fan, it has nearly every Mega Man game. Like, so many Mega Man games. 1 through 10, all of the X games, which was what, 8 of those. There's 6 games here. It's
Jeez.
unbelievable. I mean, there's like Legends and Legends 2. Like, what else are we missing? Star Force, and there was like 4 of those. Battle Network, like, but still, we have well over half of this franchise of like 50 plus games, and it's unbelievable.
That's crazy.
Mm-hmm. And like, who knew that that Tetris 99 could be so fun?
Yes.
Like, it's incredible, and it's free. I mean, I know there's a paid version now too, but like, actually, technically, you argue it's all paid because you have to have Nintendo Switch Online service. Whatever.
No.
Yeah.
Point is, it's Nintendo.
Technicalities.
It's service free, is what we'll call it. We'll call it service free. One of those things you get if you have something else. But it's like everything. Every year of the system, I've just been like really impressed with the games that come. I've never felt like I don't have something to play, and it's just the plethora of everything. Even in 2018, which most people consider 2018 to be kind of that down year where there wasn't a lot of huge Nintendo hits. They relied a lot on Wii U ports, and then indie games. But the indie games we got were so fantastic, I didn't care. Like, they were so like this is the ultimate indie game platform. I challenge anyone out there to tell me a better indie game platform than this. And I don't care if you say PC. That's great. PC has everything. It's wonderful. But I can't take my PC with me.
Right.
I can legit play indie games almost without any loss in quality on my TV, or on the go. Like, that's crazy.
Yeah.
And we're about to get The Outer Worlds, another indie game over here.
And in the early days of Switch, when some of the third parties were still needing some convincing, it was so easy to find these amazing indie games on the system, like Golf Story. My goodness, I mean, what a phenomenon!
Yeah,
and it's so good. And we're getting a sequel, right?
Yes, we are.
It's the next one.
I forget what it is. Golf
Tennis
Sports
Story.
or
I think Sports Story. I think it's called.
Sports Story. Yeah,
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, it's got a whole bunch of the different sports all put together. That's gonna be great. I can't wait.
Yeah.
And like, we're even getting Xbox indies on here. Ori and the Blind Forest.
Oh yeah.
Cuphead. Cuphead is on Switch. Like, yes. Like, seriously. I think that's like, Switch has its problems, right? We all know about the drift. There was Bengate for a little bit in the first year. The screen scratching on the original docks before they added padding in. It's not a perfect platform. It's maybe the least durable Nintendo platform I've ever held in my entire life. But I've also never held something that is like simultaneously this such amazing piece of technology that has enabled me to be a gamer again. I have 3 kids. I can't sit down at my TV and game like I once did. This gave me my gaming hours back. I now have sunk thousands and thousands of hours into a console when I haven't done that since early days of 360, Wii, and PlayStation 3. Like, last time before I had kids. Like, when I had time to actually throw a bunch of hours in, when Eric and I used to stay up playing, 24 hours straight of Madden or something. Like, that crap doesn't happen. I don't have time for that crap anymore. But I still found a way to log 10 hours into NBA 2K the last 2 days because of this. Because I could be with my kids and play NBA at the same time. It's not as enjoyable, to be fair, because I actually have to pay attention to my children. But still,
stupid kids.
I could still be a gamer and be a dad. And it's just, the Switch is just an amazing. The library is just really blowing me away. In my opinion, almost every single game in a franchise Nintendo has released on Switch is either the best game ever in that franchise or among the best games ever in that franchise. So even if you don't think Odyssey's the best, it's up there.
Yeah.
You don't think Ultimate's the best? Okay, well, it's definitely up there with the best of the Smash Bros. Games. Like Fire Emblem 3 Houses, it's up there.
Yeah.
Xenoblade Chronicles 2, it's up there. There's only 3 of them. It's up there.
Kirby Star Allies.
Kirby Star. Even like Yoshi's Crafted World, really, really charming. I like it just as much as I like Woolly World. So
Right, which is probably the best since Yoshi's Island.
Yeah,
so
like
it's
the
up
best.
there.
Yeah, so
it's up there.
Yeah. Splatoon 2, it's up there. Oh, it's the best.
Yeah.
Well, it's only
Arms.
two, but arms. Oh.
Arms, wait.
Astral Chain.
Right.
But like, and that's like everything. Just it feels like every game that comes out is a banger. I think there's only been like 2 games I've been slightly disappointed in, and that was like Mario Tennis Aces and Super Mario Party. And in both the cases, they nailed the gameplay. They got right what they were getting wrong with them before,
Right.
but then they just didn't give us enough content.
Right.
Well, and the online has been so bad. Like I loved Mario Tennis Aces, but trying to play that on stream was horrible.
Oh yeah,
It was
Just
so bad.
it's like playing Mario Maker on stream multiplayer. Good luck with that.
Yeah.
That
No.
doesn't work out too well.
Mm-hmm.
Heck, even playing Smash online, and that's another. But like
Yeah.
that's a bugaboo with Nintendo. Period. With online, they've just
Yeah.
haven't had good online pretty much.
I just
ever.
feel like it's worse now than it had been in the past. Like I felt like online of Smash Bros on Wii U was more stable than this one, and that's bad. Why is there a step back?
I didn't play enough of it to. I thought it was bad back then, so I didn't play enough of it to really.
Well, I mean, it wasn't flawless or anything, but like I feel
every
like
match
it's a
I
step
ever
back.
played was lag fest on Wii U. So
Uh,
I think the only thing. But here's the thing: Mario Kart seems to always work fine.
yeah,
You
exactly.
get like a random disconnect here and there. Like, okay, that's expected. It's
Yeah.
fine.
Right, but the
Splatoon
race doesn't
like how does that work
stutter
fine?
all the way
How does
through.
Splatoon work so fine? But you screw up all this. I don't get it.
Yeah,
I
doesn't
don't-
make any sense.
Different teams.
Well, yeah, different teams, but
Well, are
Implemented
they
a
not
different
peer
way.
to peer?
I don't know.
Because all the ones that suck are all peer to peer, right?
Yeah, I think so.
So
Well, no,
the ones that don't suck are those
I'm
ones that
pretty
aren't
sure
peer to peer.
Splatoon is peer to peer because I'm pretty sure there's a host on Splatoon. So,
Really?
Yeah.
For like 8 people?
Mm-hmm.
No.
Mm-hmm.
And it was that smooth?
Mm-hmm.
There's got to be some server assistance
There's
out
got-
there. There's got to be.
Yeah, for matchmaking.
There's got to be something. There's no way it would be that smooth with 8 people.
Did you know that Mario Kart is also locally hosted? And that's
Completely and
really-
entirely?
Yep.
No way.
Did you know you could also technically play 8-player Mario Kart locally if you really wanted to?
Yeah.
So you're just like, but really, that's like, well, you can already do it locally. But yeah, no, it's, those games. That's what's confusing to me is like those games are hosted that way. So what's wrong with one-on-one Smash?
Yeah. Seriously, 1-on-1.
They choose the
Peer-to-peer is
person with
supposed to be better for
They-
fighting games.
They look at the person that has the worst possible internet and give them control.
Right.
Probably.
Yeah.
You get an 8-player,
Unbelievable.
you get like an online 4-player Smash. They're
Yeah.
probably like, okay, this guy has got a ping of 7,000. He's the host.
Yes.
Slow everyone down to him.
Hey, it was Darren.
It was Darren. Oh, he's got fiber now.
yeah,
so I
no,
can't,
yeah, right.
Oh, I can't mess with
Back
that
in the
guy
day.
Fiber.
now. I know he's moving up.
Darren back in the day.
Fancy. He's got fiber.
I gotta get me some fiber.
This guy's
I
got
wish there was
dial
an
up.
option here. I'd have it.
This guy's got dial up. He's the host.
I suppose if I moved to Bloomer, there's a company in Bloomer that does
Yeah,
fiber.
yeah.
Of course, their fiber TV combo package is like $800 a month. So I'm like, that's ridiculous. No one's gonna pay
Totally
that.
affordable.
Like, if you go to a certain part of Eau Claire, the fiber is only as much as just charter.
Yeah.
But that part of Eau Claire is also hoity-toity, so you have to pay a fortune to live there.
Yeah.
Anyways,
It is what it is.
yeah. All right. Well, I think we hit our hour here. So thank you guys so much for tuning in. Happy birthday, Switch.
Yeah.
Like, awesome platform. Flawed in some ways. Might be my favorite platform of all time, despite the flaws. It's up there.
God damn it.
Yeah.
I
I,
got-
think the only like legit complaint I saw was about the library was that even though it's this amazing selection, a lot of it is not exclusive to Switch. So like it doesn't have its own personality yet. It's not as much personality versus like GameCube, where so much of it is just like Nintendo first party stuff.
I mean, Luigi's Mansion 3, Super Smash Bros. Ultimate, Link's Awakening Remake is exclusive, Fire Emblem Three Houses.
I
One
would
to
also say that the
Switch.
expectations today are also much higher because back day.
I was gonna be
How
like,
often did a game come out?
There might be like, I'm thinking back to the GameCube library, and I know that's a full console cycle, but I'm pretty sure there's almost as many exclusives on Switch as there were total GameCube games. Like not total overall, but total GameCube. Like that's the thing. I think it might be a little biased to how we look at things back then compared to today.
Yeah, their expectations are definitely different today.
We have a ton of Switch exclusives. I mean, Snipper Clips.
Do you remember the days of the N64 trying to wait for another game to even come out?
Oh my god! It felt like there was like a game a year, 2 games sometimes.
Seriously, you just had to wait.
Granted, every game was hyped to hell, but it was just the one game that year. Have fun. That's what it felt like. It was more than one, but there were such huge gaps. You know, you weren't getting Doom Eternal and Animal Crossing same day. Like,
all right, I guess I'm playing Glover then.
I guess I'll pop in my rented copy of Quest 64 I never returned again.
Good.
Oh, man. Back before you realized what actual good open world was like. I thought Quest 64 was the bomb. Then you played like Ocarina of Time or anything else, and you're like, oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Oops.
Yeah, that wasn't very good. Nice attempt. It was a cool demo.
Yeah.
Poor Quest 64.
Yeah.
Poor Quest 64.
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, it's been. I've had an amazing time with Switch. As I said, you know, I guess I've always kept my expectations pretty similar. Like, here's the thing. I don't care if every game's multi-platform. I care. I've never been one that cares a lot about the exclusives. I bring them up a lot in arguments because people always want to argue about exclusives, and I'm like, Switch has no exclusives. All right, well, here's a list of 50 games.
Oh, not something that doesn't have exclusives. That's for darn sure.
Well, and it has like some of the best games of this generation exclusively on the platform. I'd argue that Luigi's Mansion 3 so far. I'm not that far into it though. Yeah. Might be my game of the year for last year. We'll see. But
that's great.
But like, and like even on Nintendo, there's such a hard argument between Astral Chain and Fire Emblem as well to bring up in that debate for last year. So it's like, and those are all Game of the Year worthy games in my opinion, all exclusive on Switch. But like, I don't care if games are so like Octopath Traveler was exclusive, now it's multiplayer. I don't care.
Right.
I don't care. Here's the thing, Switch does something these other platforms can't. I'm playing a game right now.
Aaron.
As I'm on a podcast. Holding it in my hand. I can't do that on the other platforms unless I like modify a tablet or do game streaming or something.
Yeah, Dr. Mario World.
Dr. Mario World. Yeah. Luigi's Mansion 3. What's up?
Yeah.
And I'm playing in HD. Granted, it's the lowest form of HD at 720.
Hey, it's HD.
But it's still HD. Technically still HD. All right.
Hey, they used to advertise 480p as HD.
I remember
back in the day.
Back in the day. Now they realize, now that's standard def. Well, then what's 240p? Standard def.
Close your mouth.
Close your mouth. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in. As always, if you want the audio form of the podcast, you can check out anchor.fm, iTunes, the Google Store, Spotify. I believe we're on now. You could literally check us out on everything because the podcast is put everywhere. The audio version will be up tomorrow. I'll put a post up on Patreon for our patrons to know about it as well because it was requested by them that I put a post up when the audio version goes live in case they're not getting notifications because there were some people that were only getting it through Patreon apparently. So sorry. But anchor.fm is technically the host of it. So that's like where you get the best version of it. Anyways, thank you guys for tuning in. You can check out all of the places to follow us and find Fivejay and find me and find Eric. Social media stuff down in the description.
I actually just got notified today that this is my second year on Twitter.
Woo!
Hey!
Yeah. Second year on Twitter.
Yeah.
Giggity. All right, folks. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll catch you in the next podcast for episode 121 next week.
See ya.